Let's start with this crazy video of cyclists crashing one after another into a parked car. Despite the car politely pulling over and allowing cyclists to pass, they continually hit the vehicle instead of going around. However, experts revealed that this is not necessarily due to negligence, but due to something called flow dynamics. When many riders are moving at once, they act like a series of particles in a tube. The riders on the inside prevented those on the outside from moving around the obstruction, the car. At least they were wearing helmets. More and more people have indoor and outdoor cameras in their homes nowadays. And while this can be helpful for capturing criminals or bad babysitters, they sometimes capture something else. Keep a close eye on the doorway near the stairs. Did you see it? Keep in mind that nobody was home during this incident, yet that appears to be a child walking across the landing. You can even hear a small voice say something that sounds like, "Help." Some viewers point out that the orbs at the beginning of the video seem to manifest into a ghostly child. Either way, this house needs some sage quick. Speaking of quick, this train wasn't fast enough to avoid this sudden landslide that broke out in Washington state. There is absolutely nothing the conductor could have done to avoid the catastrophe, which ended up causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage to the train cars and the surrounding infrastructure. The good news is that the only thing hurt was the equipment and nobody was injured. Still, it just goes to show how quickly Mother Nature can turn against us. If only Mother Nature were all we had to worry about. This woman found out the hard way that the real threat often comes from other human beings. Here she is driving around Oakland, keeping a safe distance from the vehicle in front of her. Suddenly, it stops, pulls onto the center of the road, and two men run out of the car in an attempt to steal her vehicle.
Come on now, quit fucking around. No. Ah!
Luckily, she responds quickly, stepping on the gas and making a fast getaway. She's already turned the corner before they can even get back in their car.
When danger finds us, the only prayer is that there's someone close who knows what must be done. In this smoking car is a mother and her 4-year-old child. They had been in an accident, the airbags in the vehicle deployed, and the door handle had jammed from inside and the mother couldn't get out. A Georgia cop, seeing the situation, swung into action. He smashed the window, but he wasn't alone. A bystander rushed in to join the cop, and soon enough, 3 more people rushed in to help as smoke was coming off the car. One person got through the deployed airbag and somehow they managed to get the door open. Not long after they got the mother and child to safety, the car burst into flames.
Open the door! Hang on, I'll get you out. We got everybody out of.
As scary as that footage is, it has nothing on this video. Here, a car is about to run a red light and strike a family with a stroller. However, another car speeds into the intersection and hits the offending vehicle just moments before it makes contact with the innocent people in the roadway. It's a tragedy either way, but the family crossing the street was at least saved a very messy and gruesome end. This confusing footage from Russia seems to focus on a young man having a mental or physical health crisis. However, a giant man soon appears to steal the spotlight. The man is incredibly angry and begins assaulting the train itself, especially the door and windows. Finally, the train comes to a stop, at which point the Goliath rips open the doors with his bare hands and goes stomping out into the train station. Russia has a reputation for producing some very weird viral videos, but this one has left pretty much everyone who's seen it scratching their heads. The landslide that took out that train in Washington was damaging enough, but this footage from Maybe China shows just how crazy landslides can get. It appears as if the entire mountain might be coming down at once, including the trees, dirt, and rocks. The people filming the incident are so engrossed in watching what's happening that they don't even try to run away until it's almost too late. Landslides kill hundreds in China every year, mainly due to unsafe mining techniques and risky drilling. Most people would rather deal with a few dozen landslides than have a tangle with a ghost. This ring camera footage seems to show a terrifying orb moving slowly across a person's yard in the middle of the night. After reaching the bushes, it seems to disappear completely. Orbs are a common phenomenon associated with ghosts. In fact, some believe that orbs are a manifestation of ghostly energy or spirit presence. If that's the case here, whoever lives in that house should invest in something a lot stronger than a security system, like a few gallons of holy water.
This is not your usual garden variety hotel in the neck of the woods or in a remote part of the city. It's a high-end luxury hotel, but what do you have walking in through the front door? A black bear. At the luxurious St. Regis Hotel in Aspen, Colorado, you see the wealthy and affluent drive in all the time. The visitor today is not the affluent, but a bear. Here's the moment the bear walks into the kitchen, knocking down the hotel's security guard in one quick movement. It was 11 p.m. and the bear might have been hungry and on the hunt for nourishment when it stumbled into the kitchen. Watch as it walked in majestically, like it owned the place. The security guard came in to investigate reports of a bear sighting, but his sudden appearance in the kitchen startled the bear and it flew at him quickly, knocking him to the ground. Thankfully, the bear didn't attack the man further, but turned and ran off.
Let's take a quick break from the creepy stuff and go back to the everyday horrors of Mother Nature. Lots of people are afraid of the ocean, and footage like this shows precisely why. Filmed from a Coast Guard helicopter, it shows a boat fighting against massive waves at the mouth of the Columbia River. It turns out the reason the boat was out there in the first place was because it had been stolen. Apparently, the thief didn't have much boating experience because he quickly found himself capsized and fighting for his life. Here's another reminder when it comes to rushing water. The smartest thing you can do is move directly against the current. And that goes for water moving on land as well.
I know. I'm taking a movie. Fucking hell. Oh shit! Oh,
This bus in Samoa was attempting to cross a flooded river path when the rushing waters got the better of it. At first, it seems that the driver might have pulled it off, but things soon go sideways. Literally, when the water pushes the bus off the road and over a ledge, turning it upside down. Tragically, many people were injured due to the bus driver's foolish decision, with at least 2 fatalities.
The danger of chasing a suspect through an occupied area is the danger that an innocent might be caught in the crossfire. In this harrowing video, 15-year-old Ryland Wilder was simply going through the motions of his day. He's an intern at the music school in Chicago and can be seen cleaning up the piano at school, unperturbed by the noise outside. When he's done wiping down the piano, he takes out the trash. It's at this time that the events just outside the school draw his eyes. Loud sirens can be heard just outside as police cruisers sped by. They're chasing an alleged bank robber. Ryland goes back to his business, ignoring the noise, but suddenly the suspect holding a gun in his hand runs into the music school. As he runs in, a police officer follows, opening fire just as Ryland dove out of the way. The young boy was caught in the arm by a bullet, and being a musician, questions abound as to whether he could carry on with his music. He would undergo 18 different operations to have his arm back, and his parents would win a settlement of $1.9 million after taking the cops to court for reckless and excessive behavior.
There are some insane car crash videos out there on the internet, but this one might be the craziest of all.
You got it. Yes, sir. This is, oh, you flapping it.
It shows some residents of Burdett in Florida having a somewhat normal conversation when an out-of-control car goes speeding down the road. As it nears the intersection, it strikes a truck, launching it into the air and onto a nearby roof, where the car bursts into flames. Apparently, this was one of 12 vehicles stolen from a nearby body shop and taken on a joyride. The ironic part is that the truck was also one of the stolen vehicles. It goes without saying that the house, car, and truck all sustained heavy damage.
Anyone who's seen a ward never flinches at the sight of danger. They've had bullets whizzing past their heads and have literally stared death in the face. Here's an Army veteran swinging into action to help cops bring a suspected criminal to justice and save a woman from carjacking. It begins with a police chase. Florida cops were chasing a driver in a suspected stolen car. The suspect crashed the vehicle at an intersection, then leapt out and tried to steal another car. The veteran was in a car behind, and the moment he saw the events unfolding, he sprung into action.
He just crashed the white male building.
Watch as the veteran rushes at the suspect, forcing him to leave the car owner and run for safety. But the former paratrooper wasn't done. He chased after him and had him pinned against the wall before police arrived on the scene.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Let him go! Let him go! Let him go!
Here's some more security footage that appears to show ghostly or otherwise paranormal activity. We can clearly see a young child sleeping in their bed. Despite their not moving at all, the swing attached to the bed is rocking back and forth. This rocking continues for several seconds without anything else in the room moving. This seems to indicate that someone or something is causing the swing to move back and forth. Proof of ghosts? Or just an open window? One of the biggest stories of the past year was of a mall mermaid in Johannesburg, South Africa, who nearly drowned after the tail portion of her costume was caught on a rock in the mall's aquarium display. Luckily, she was able to think quickly and remove the tail altogether, preventing her from putting on an unintended grisly display for the mall's shoppers. Though it's certainly a cool idea to have a mermaid swimming in the middle of a mall, this instance shows it might not be the safest display.
This body cam footage shows the moment an insensitive cop failed to read the room. The dog, belonging to William Alrich and his family, was hit by a car. William, his wife, and their 16-year-old son swung into action, racing against time to get the dog to a vet. To save the dog's life, William knew he had to drive above the speed limit. That was when a New Mexico police officer stopped his vehicle and forced William to step out.
Driver, step out of the vehicle! Face away from me! Hands on your head! Step back to the sound of my voice now! Now! Step back! Step back! Step back!
He's made to kneel while his son is also forced to kneel as well. William says he's kept asking the cops to let him get the Labradoodle to a vet, but he wouldn't listen. The camera captures William's wife holding the dog, Sarah, and William can be heard, "My dog is about to die."
My dog's about to die! Hands up! My dog's about to die! Keep your hands up! Please! My neighbor hit my dog, that's my son and my wife! Stand up.
The cops had their guns drawn, and the excessive treatment makes you wonder if this family had committed a prior crime for which they were being punished. Williams kept begging, "Please sir, my dog's about to die." Here's the 16-year-old being thrown face down and handcuffed as well.
Please sir, my dog's about to die! Okay. Stop! You stop your car!
Listen. Run my driver's license. I have no words. I need to get to that vet.
I can't believe you pulled your gun on my kids, sir.
It's false.
The family was released after their emergency was confirmed and they continued to the vet, but Sarah, the Labradoodle, passed away.
All across America, thieves continue to get bolder and bolder with their schemes.
Yeah, I need somebody at 7-Eleven. I got somebody stealing the ATM. They just hook up to it. I get a white pickup, license plate number.
This group of robbers has used a truck and chain to rip an ATM from inside of a 7-Eleven. As they pack the ATM into their truck, they seem to be completely unbothered by the men and women inside the store, many of whom are on the phone with the police. Though they managed to make off with the machine, they were eventually caught. They were also probably very surprised to learn that ATMs only carry a few $1,000s at a time. Every once in a while, a new video will make the rounds purporting to show some terrifying encounter. This one comes with little explanation. Who's the man with the tape mask? Why is he making those terrifying noises? It seems like that's the end of things, but as the man continues to move through the abandoned building, it becomes clear that the masked individual has moved very quickly from spot to spot. After giving the man with the camera quite the spook, the man reappears back in his original spot, only to disappear again and end up right behind him. Real or fake, it's definitely a creepy video. One video we can guarantee is real is this one. It shows a woman giving a victim impact statement to a convicted child killer. The man slowly dies inside as victim after victim reads their statements.
Look at me. What I feel is so much deeper than I ever dare to express in a public forum. Chelsea was a sweet, loving, and innocent soul who could not have fathomed.
One woman in particular asked the killer how his nose is, as she had actually broken it when he attacked and tried to kill her. The killer quickly becomes enraged at this and tells his lawyer that the woman never hit him. Takes a pretty crazy person to be facing down a life sentence and worry that other people will think he got hit by a girl.
Accidents happen every day, but it's deeply shocking that a reckless driver can hit someone and continue driving like he just ran into the trash can by the side of the road. In this harrowing video, an 11-year-old boy is seen walking on the crosswalk with a woman pushing a baby on a stroller right behind him. Everything looked totally normal until an SUV ran the stop sign, hitting the boy. The driver didn't stop to show concern. Instead, he drove off at the same speed without as much as a backward glance. Thankfully, the boy got up quickly and it appears he didn't sustain any injuries. The woman with the stroller was shocked. You can see it in the moment when she freezes. When she recovered her composure, she helped the boy, holding him as they walked across the street.
Footage like that can have a powerful impact on the viewer, but so can footage like this. It shows an electric train in Argentina striking a dump truck that foolishly tried to cross the tracks right in front of the speeding locomotive. It's unclear how the driver thought he could possibly make it across without incident, as the gates were clearly down to prevent traffic from crossing. The truck driver survived, and the train managed to not get derailed, which is the best case scenario for an impact like this. We've pointed out countless times that while vehicles can do some immense damage to one another, nothing is quite as powerful as Mother Nature itself. This footage from Tirunelveli, Tamil Nadu, India shows how rapidly moving waters can destroy entire buildings in a matter of hours. After days of storms and floods, this house finally began to move on its foundation, ripping away from its neighbor before collapsing entirely. Unfortunately, this was not the only home to suffer such a fate during the record-setting flooding. Here's even more tragic footage of something large coming crashing to the ground. This time, it's a massive container ship crane positioned at a port in Taiwan. These cranes need to lift shipping containers weighing up to 30 tons each. Therefore, the cranes themselves can weigh as much as 2,000 tons. So when this gantry began falling, you can't blame the workers for running for their lives. One thing we can all agree is no laughing matter is human trafficking. This footage shows a man attempting to abduct and traffic a young girl who simply wants to buy some ice cream. The man keeps his distance, pretending to be on his cell phone while the young girl interacts with the shopkeeper. As soon as he gets a chance, he attempts to make off with the young girl, but the vigilant shopkeeper follows her and walks her home safely. She even returns to film the man's license plate and call the police. Good for her for being so aware of her surroundings.
When armed robbers walk into stores, they're banking on their ability to bring fear and terror with them. Terrified cashiers and store owners often hand over everything, but not this mesquite store owner. The moment the armed men walk into his store, he was on his knees at the back of the store, working on something on one of the shelves when he noticed two masked men walk in. He didn't think, he simply whipped his gun out and fired at the robbers. There were 3 shots, but no one was hurt as the robbers fled as quickly as they could. This wasn't the owner's first rodeo. In the past 5 years, there'd been 3 attempts to rob his store, and each time he'd pushed back hard. Here's one of those times robbers had attempted to rob the same store. The reaction is just the same.
Lots of shocking footage has come out of air shows in the past few decades, and this is one of the worst.
You can see it. Here comes the shockwave. He is coming fast. He is coming really fast. He's catching up. Looks like he has caught Bill Stein. He's coming up. Oh, he passed Rob Holly. Did not catch Bill Stein. Oh, boy.
It shows a shockwave jet truck attempting to race two inverted aircraft. Shockwave trucks are jet-powered trucks capable of traveling more than 375 miles per hour. Unfortunately, in this case, the truck experienced a serious mechanical failure that caused it to roll over and burst into flames. Sadly, the driver died in the incident. Ring and surveillance cameras are quickly turning into a goldmine for videos claiming to show paranormal experiences. After all, the more eyes we have spread around the world, the more likely we are to catch things we wouldn't otherwise see. Take this footage, which shows a pair of ladies returning home from a night out. The second woman seems hesitant, as if she hears or sees something she doesn't like. True to form, the moment she disappears inside the home, a pair of black legs appear right where she had been standing. Lots of internet users have theories, but nobody has been able to satisfactorily explain just what this might be. One of the most shocking videos of 2023 came just at the tail end of the year. In November, an Arlington, Virginia man barricaded himself inside a duplex while officers and a SWAT team attempted to serve a search warrant. During the exchange, the home suddenly exploded into a fireball. Apparently, the man had gotten a hold of a flare gun and was shooting it inside the building when this happened. Yet authorities are unsure of precisely what caused the explosion. The explosion shook homes hundreds of yards away, yet, miraculously, nobody was injured. Though it doesn't show an explosion, this Ring camera video is just as shocking. Mere moments after this couple leaves their home, a person who appears to be holding a baby in their arms appears and starts trying to break in. They eventually drop the baby act, revealing that they were only holding a pile of clothes. They then become enraged, attacking the windows and doors in an attempt to get inside. Finally, the stranger decides to try to break a window with a chair that had been placed outside, only to start dancing instead. Car accidents happen every day, but it's pretty rare that a car and plane collide. Yet, that's just what happened when a small plane malfunctioned on landing and broke the fence at an airport in McKinney, Texas. Another pilot managed to catch the plane on camera as it rammed into a car in the middle of the road. Paramedics evaluated everyone on scene, but only one had to be taken to the hospital for minor injuries. No doubt the driver had an interesting call to their insurance company. Our last video seems to have no clear explanation. In fact, it's better that way. The footage shows two people in all-black bodysuits jumping and climbing over trees and abandoned buildings in a seemingly remote area. Despite appearing to be human, the two creatures distinctly act in very non-human ways. Whether this is a game, an elaborate prank, or something paranormal, it's a good reminder to stay inside and lock your doors when you're home alone.
Auburn Moore, an Alabama woman, received a visit from the Alabama SWAT team. Police say Auburn and another man, Jordan Hernandez, are alleged to have carried out an armed robbery where a man was shot and the man's wife kidnapped in the process. This must be the chickens coming home to roost, but Auburn Moore, who was live streaming the whole arrest on Facebook Live, chose a different persona on this day. On one hand, she had a Bible and would soon be shouting out Bible verses as the SWAT team asked her to walk out of the house.
Show us your hand! Show us your hand! Come out with your hands up! Alright.
Hands! Two people. Do not move. Stand up and walk out here now. Get on your feet and move.
Leave the child alone.
Get on your feet and walk out here now.
Might as well shoot me.
Hey, all right.
Only God's the
Walk
judge.
out.
Turn around.
I will. He's the only.
Okay.
Do not treat him like that.
Somebody get her.
Please don't.
You're
I just
good.
have my book
Come
in
on.
my hand,
You're
my
good.
Bible.
You're good.
That's it.
She prays, cries, and speaks to her viewers on Facebook almost like she was preaching a sermon.
This is chapter 37, the ranks. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, by those angels who ranged themselves in close ranks, and those who drive away the wicked with reproof, and by the reciters of the reminder, your God is one, Lord of the heavens and the earth, and everything between them, Lord of the east. We have adored the lowest heaven with the beauty of the planets and guarded it against all rebellious devils. They cannot overhear the higher assembly for
a long time, she keeps recording out the Bible verses, and it might have been the live stream that gave up Moore's location. When the SWAT team surrounded her home and demanded that she stepped out, she ignored them and kept reading to her viewers on Facebook.
But this isn't how they do it. They're saying simply open the front door. If they had a search warrant, they would knock on the door, right? Right? But if they had a search warrant, they would knock on the door, right? Right. Just pray. Everyone just pray. This is Decatur police. Allah Akbar, please, Lord, be with us. It's just me and a little kid here right now. Please, Lord, be with us. Allah Akbar. We're in Decatur.
SWAT is forced to break into the house, demanding that Moore put her hands up. The recorder is still on as the SWAT team arrests her.